Russia-Ukraine news. French diplomat claims China is sending military hardware to Russia. China has called for respect for all sovereign states, including Ukraine, despite its claim of neutrality in the conflict, but it has never publicly condemned Russian President Vladimir Putin's military operation in Ukraine. The diplomatic advisor to French President Emmanuel Macron has claimed that China is shipping items to Russia that could be used as military equipment in the country's conflict with Ukraine. During a rare public address on Thursday at the Aspen Security Forum in Colorado, which is being broadcast, Emmanuel Bon said, "There are indications that they are doing things we would prefer they not to do." When pressed for clarification, he said he was thinking of the arrival of some kind of military equipment. They are not providing Russia with substantial military capabilities, as far as we are aware, he added. AFP was told by a French diplomatic source that the advisor had mentioned possible deliveries of dual-use technologies, meaning that they could be used for either civilian or military purposes. Western nations have pressured Beijing to stop supplying Russia with weapons for its invasion of Ukraine. Despite their repeated denials, they are worried that Chinese companies are shipping equipment to Russia that could be used in the Ukraine conflict. China has called for respect for all sovereign states, including Ukraine, despite its claim of neutrality in the conflict, but it has never publicly condemned Russian President Vladimir Putin's military operation in Ukraine. The Chinese abstention from arms deliveries is what we need most at this time, when the counteroffensive is beginning on the field and everything is complicated, Bon said. He said, "I'd like China to demonstrate that it is a credible partner in the conflict in Ukraine," but he added, "I don't have the evidence yet. For example, I don't believe for a second that China will provide a solution to the war in Ukraine," he said about the diplomatic front. Putin's exit from the conflict and Ukraine's general destruction of the Russian military are all that are needed to end the conflict. After that, a very solid kind of negotiation framework, involving numerous partners like China and India, who can have an influence and can guarantee a solid peace, as stated by Bon, will be required. In her letter to the editor, Letters, June 29, Dr. Ellie Chowns implies that Sir Bill Wiggin voted against the most recent report from the Privileges Committee because he thinks it's fine to lie to Parliament. Such an accusation requires an immediate retraction on her part. Our MP may wish to defend himself against this allegation, and I don't know him personally. In Parliament and elsewhere, there are many and varied reasons for voting one way or another, or for not voting at all. Considering that the committee's chair is a lifelong socialist whose goal must have always been to frustrate and denigrate those opposing her views rather than present the truth, it would be wise to sit this one out. Where Dr. Chowns and I agree is that we need a politician who will speak the truth to power. She should be avoided like the plague because her own Green Party has for decades spread lies, exaggerations, and outright denials of scientific fact.